The Ombudsman of Toronto says the city chose speed over people in a final report just delivered on the clearing of homeless encampments in the summer of 2021. The investigation also concluded that there wasn't enough communication with those living in Trinity Bellwoods and other parks and caused undue harm.
The city didn't engage in meaningful engagement with individuals living in the encampments. And my report also found that the communication about encampments in general and the clearing specifically wasn't very good.
The sights and sounds from the clearing of encampments at 3 downtown parks in 2021 continue to have an impact nearly 2 years later. The latest coming in the form of a report from the city's ombudsman. Kwame Addo finding there was no need for the urgency to move in at the time, that the city's actions caused undue confusion and harm, and more should have been done to care for those staying there.
In the planning for the clearings, the city didn't allocate or allow for the provision of mental health supports on the day of the clearings, even though the city knew that there were many individuals that living in the encampments that had mental health problems.
For its part, the city says it accepts the recommendations of the report and is committed to the use of a people-first, client-centered approach to help connect those living in encampments with services, including shelter and housing. The city's Streets to Homes outreach team and partner agencies conduct outreach to proactively connect with people living outdoors. Others working with those living in parks today say that's still not the case.
They say they're going to comply, but they've shown in the way they're acting at Allen Gardens and in other encampments now that they have no intention of doing that.
At the time of the clearings, and again last year when an interim report was presented, former Mayor John Tory defended the city's actions, saying there was a need to clear the space for the benefit of others.
There does come a time where the fundamental principle that says that public parks are not proper places for encampments, they're not safe, they're not legal, and they're not healthy, that principle has to be upheld.
The report says the city failed to live up to its stated commitments to fairness and a human rights-based approach to housing. Among the recommendations is for the city to create a detailed plan outlining better support access to physical and mental health services, and a strategy for engaging with people living in encampments.
The city didn't have a clear definition of what it meant by engagement, and when it was done inconsistently.
While this is considered a final report, Addo said the work doesn't stop, and part of the Ombudsman's role is to continue to monitor whether the recommendations are implemented.